Hello, pumpkin. Hello. Oh, my little pookie. Good afternoon on this beautifully rainy, overcast, windy Irish day. Like many Irish days. We have gotten a few glimpses of the sunshine throughout, but it's been a lot of rain. Something very therapeutic about the rain though. Today I guess I just want to talk a bit about the fact that a few months ago I made quite a big decision to move back home to Ireland, and my home that I was raised in with my parents. You see more and more of it, I feel like, these days. You know, there's for various reasons I'm seeing more people like my age moving back in with their parents. Usually for like economic reasons, for financial reasons. Obviously a lot of people are struggling due to the economic climate and many other things that are happening in the world, which we don't need to get into today because that's a whole other spiel. But I'm just going to talk about my perspective. What led me to make this decision, and I guess what it's like living back home where you came from with your parents in your late 20s and just simply trying to start over. And I just want to say that starting over, or starting the next chapter, whatever way you want to phrase it or look at it, it doesn't need to be a negative thing. I don't think it's a negative thing. I'm somebody who has lived a million lives. You know, let me give you a little bit of context. I grew up here in Ireland, and then I moved away to America when I was 19 years old by myself. I made that decision when I was very young, but I don't think anybody really took me seriously, you know? Like, I had always talked about it when I was little, and people would say, oh yeah, that's, you know, whatever, that's cool. But then when it actually came time to it happening, you know, when I had finished college, and I went to college very young, so I did graduate very young, and it was a shorter course. It wasn't like a long 4-year course, it was only 2 years, hence why I left at 19. My aunt and uncle in America, they said that, you know, if I want to come stay with them, you know, while I get on my feet, I could do that, which is wonderful, amazing. I was very grateful for them. Still am very grateful. I'm very grateful to all my family who's ever helped me. So yeah, that's what I did, and obviously my parents weren't like thrilled about it, but you know, like I said, I had always talked about it when I was really little. It was something that I had envisioned for a long time, and I had my reasons. But yeah, my mom in particular was very upset. She was like, oh, you can't leave me, and I said, Mom, it's not your decision. Like, anyways, so yeah, 19, I go to Maryland first. I lived there for the majority of the time, honestly, and I really love Maryland. I could see myself living there again. It's a really nice place, nice people. Learned a lot about myself there. Then I lived in Florida, briefly in Connecticut, back in Florida. So I last lived in PGA, Florida, which is way down in the south, like an hour from Miami. I would not live there again for several reasons. One, it's far too humid, like just absurdly humid. You shower, you do your hair, and you step outside and you're just dripping sweat and your hair turns into a big poof ball, especially if you have curly hair like me. I didn't vibe with the people and just the overall energy, to be completely honest. Yeah, I met a few, you know, cool people, but like, everything's sort of like surface level, you know what I mean? Not a lot of depth in terms of the energy, in terms of people and what they want out of life, if that makes sense. That's just my impression of Florida. I didn't vibe with it, but you know, other people might feel completely differently. What led me to coming back home? Because that's really what this is all about, right? For one, it's hard to talk about these things with like, I want to get personal, but I don't want to get too personal. Like, I don't want to put my whole life out there, you know what I mean? Because I've seen what happens to people that just put everything out there, and I don't. And also, I'm still dealing with a lot of this. Still a lot of weight to these things. Well, I guess first I'll just say that I was in a very unhealthy relationship, which I tried to make work for a very long time. And I've learned a lot about myself and my ex-partners. Like, when I look back on the last one and the one before that and then the one before that, I look at how I've evolved as a person and where I am today. So I'll just leave that at that. I'm not getting, maybe one day I'll go further into that, but not right now. All of my, hello baby, hello, you coming up to mama? All of my like serious relationships were not great, to be honest. I mean, if they were, would I be single now? You know? Well, there was one that was great, but then things went south. That's life. That for me just like really sucked the life out of me, you know? Like, that level of psychological warfare just every day was draining. It really was. And my parents knew that. I was struggling financially. Like I said, a lot of people around the world are right now and have been for quite some time. I don't want to like get into politics or whatever, but like I'm glad that I left when I did, because you know, seeing everything that's going on over there in America with, I'm not even gonna mention his name, but you know who. The leader, the head of office. Yeah, I don't think I could live there right now. Not until he's gone, because that is crazy. And I really do pray for the US citizens that are still living there. Like, I wish you well. Sorry if I sound like, you know, bleh. This is not a particularly exciting thing for me to talk about, but it's just a very real, honest thing that I feel like needs to be discussed, you know? And I hope that this helps at least one person. So do with this what you will. You know, I was struggling to like find the work that I wanted, and like I'm at this point where I've tried so many different kinds of jobs, right? Like I feel like I've done everything. And I really, really just want to focus my energy on working on things that I actually find fulfilling, because like I said, I feel like so much of what I've done, not just in terms of past relationships, but just in general, like so much of what I've done and what I've gone through in my life in my early 20s has drained a lot of my energy. And you know, I've given so much to others, and I'm at this point where I feel like I need to pour back into myself. Like I need to, because if I don't, I don't know. I just don't know. You know what? Oh my god, I can literally see a hair on my nose. You know what they say about if your cup isn't full, you can't fill it into others, or however the heck that goes. It's true. It's true. Like I just felt completely empty. Completely empty. I felt like a shell of myself, if I'm being completely honest. I felt like I had absolutely nothing left to not only give to anybody else, but I had nothing to even give to myself. Like I mean, you guys saw I wasn't even like putting anything on YouTube for a while. I just really needed to focus on trying to find myself again, and just like really basic stuff. So I come back home, which is weird. It's weird. Like, I'll be honest, it is weird. I mean, that's just me. That's my personal experience. I think this is weird. I still think it's weird. Like, when I look outside and when I wake up here, I'm like, I know 8 years might not sound like a super long time to live somewhere else, but that just felt like a whole lifetime. Like, I lived in the US for 8 years, and it really felt like a whole lifetime. I made friends, I lost friends, I met the love of my life, I lost the love of my life. I bought my dream car, I lost my dream car. I got my amazing kitty cat, and I still have her, so that's one thing that I still have. And thank God I was able to take her with me, because we're not even gonna go there. Yeah, that was a whole extravaganza trying to bring a cat from the US to Ireland. girl, if you need help, let me know, because it's not easy. It's not easy. There's a lot to it. But yeah, I wake up here and I'm like, I'm in the bedroom that I grew up in when I was just a wee child. Like, it's so trippy, but it doesn't look the same. And I've completely redecorated it and it's really cool. Like, I love it. But it feels like a fever dream, you know? It doesn't feel real. Like, I wake up every day and I'm going about my day and I'm seeing my childhood best friend and I'm seeing my siblings and I'm seeing my parents and I'm cooking in my old kitchen and I know where everything is, and like I know how to get to the places that I went to like when I was a child, and it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy to me. If any of you can relate, please let me know, because sometimes I feel a little bit crazy, but it's just wild. It's such a surreal feeling. But also, like, my hometown, it looks so different because it has been so long. Like, there's so many shops that are no longer here, and then there's all these new cafes and new like smoke shops, and it's just, it looks so different, but it's still the exact same place at the same time. There's so many new people and there's also all the same people. And you know, I come from a very small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everything. Another reason why I left, because yeah. But it's good though to like get out and see the world and just let go of all of that. But to come home, and this is another reason why I wanted to come home, I also wanted to like reconnect with where I'm from and the people that I haven't seen in 8 years. It made me really sad thinking about the fact that I actually had not seen my best friend that I had known since we were, what, 5, 6 years old, in that long. And I used to see her pretty much every day. Like, the more I would think about that, the sadder it would make me. So that's just one example. And then I would also think about the fact that I grew up here in Ireland, and there's still so much of Ireland I've yet to see and explore. People come and visit and they do all these things, and you know, like Americans would tell me, oh, I went to Ireland and I did this and I did this and I did this and this. Have you ever been to all these places? And I'm like, no. You've seen more of Ireland than I have. Like, are you sure you even grew up there? It just reminds you, like, it puts things into perspective, doesn't it? We can't really get too wrapped up in the day-to-day and, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to go there and I've got to, I mean, yes, everybody has their priorities. I get that, of course, but I guess what I'm saying is, I think it's also important to prioritize pouring into ourselves and taking the time to explore and see and do as much as we can while we can. I'm not gonna lie, I did have some, not concerns, but you know, wasn't sure what the dynamic would be like moving back in with my parents after all this time. I'm an adult and they are my parents. And I wasn't sure how things would be. I am grateful that they have allowed me this time and space to be here, to reconnect with them. I'm not gonna lie, my parents and I haven't always had the best relationship, and I don't want to go into too much detail about that, but that is another reason why I wanted to move back here. You know, I wanted to, like I said, reconnect with my country, with my friends, with family, with my parents. I felt like I was being pulled back spiritually. I felt like a calling to be here, and just the fact that everything was going on over there in the US, in Florida, with me and my ex and everything, it just felt like all of these things were happening simultaneously. It's just crazy how life always seems to guide you exactly where you're supposed to be. Isn't it? I mean, everything really does happen exactly how it's supposed to, whether it's what you planned on or not. I saw this thing one time, and I think it's, you know, funny whether you're religious or not. It said, if you want to make God laugh, make plans. Meaning, like, there is so much that's just out of our control, essentially. No matter what or who you believe in, there's just so much that is out of our hands, you know. So it's good to have goals and dreams and general plans, but at the end of the day, there's only so much that we can do. All we can really do is just prioritize our well-being, make time for the ones we love, and explore, see, do, try, taste as much as we can with what we have. How do I feel now? I guess now I feel lighter. I feel like now I've walked away from a burning forest. And I was running for a while, and now I found like this little place that's just all my own. I feel hopeful. I feel more calm. I feel that I have way more opportunities. I feel like the people around me are supportive. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful that I have a creative outlet. I'm grateful for my family, for my friends, for this whole opportunity to just be here and get to focus on me, because that's what I need. If you feel like you need to start over, there's no shame in asking a family member for help, asking anybody for help. Asking for help does not make you weak. It takes a village. If you need to move back in with your parents, move back in with your parents. I guess the most important thing is just fill your cup. Fill your cup. Thank you guys for watching.